everybody, and welcome to the Glory Reds podcast. This your boy Don Benito, and hey, these Saudi Arabian people, they're back. Yeah, they're back. They are back, and they are back like I don't know. And this time, it is not Al Hilal. We will talk about that. Manchester United are closing in on a goalkeeper. Remember Senne Lammens? Remember that episode that we did and I said new keeper alert? Right, we are going to jump into that. And what is the latest on Manchester United, the squad, those that are traveling? Let's jump into it. So, the Saudi Arabian League is back in for Bruno Fernandes. Like, this... Personally, I don't know what to say. I remember at some point I did say that we did miss an opportunity when Al Hilal came looking for Bruno Fernandes. I remember I said it. I did. And so Bruno turned that deal down, wanted to stay at Manchester. We were all happy. Happy days. I was relieved, but at the same time, I'm like, look, this might just come back and bite us in the ass because, truth be told, we did need the money. Now, Al Ittihad is back saying they want Bruno Fernandes. And I'm just like, hey. And before you ask, who is Al Ittihad? Who is Al Hilal? Who Shabab? Okay. Al Hilal is the team that it's the blue team. At some point, I think Odion Igalo played there, if I'm not mistaken. It's the team that went to the World Cup. It's the team that Ruben Neves is playing for. Blue, the Milinkovic Savic. It's a very nice team. They've got a very good setup there. Al Ittihad is the team that Karim Benzema is in. Fabinho is in. N'Golo Kante is in. So that team is the one that wants Bruno Fernandes. And it has appeared. We understand that the deal is between 90 million and 100 pounds. So these guys, again, they're coming with the big money. The big boy money. But this 90 to 100, I'm sorry. I think they need to match what Al Hilal brought in. Al Hilal were talking 120. They were saying they wanted to smash the British transfer record. So I think in negotiations to Bruno, I think that is where we need to start. 100 M's. I'm seeing 90 to 100. That 90 missed me. Start 100 to something. 100 to 120. Because for you to come in here when the season just started and want to take one of our prized possessions or prized assets, our biggest player, our captain, our Magnifico, with 1 week left for this transfer window, where do you think we're going to replace him with? So if you're coming in for Bruno at this juncture or at this moment, you better come in with the big money. That's all I can say to the Saudis. They need to come in with that big money. And I'm talking 120 to 150. You see what Liverpool is trying to do with Isak? Trying to spend all that money. That's what our Ittihad need to be doing. Trying to get Bruno. I will not accept anything less than 100 M's for Bruno. I am sorry. He's our captain. He's our Magnifico. Yes, I am saying he's our Magnifico. Do you have a problem with that? Anyway, he's our Magnifico. He's our talisman. He has been our talisman. He is the guy, the heart, the blood. He's literally the core. Everything about us is Bruno Fernandes. I always say we need to be building this team around him. But no. So for us to accept this, I'm not saying that Manchester United have done that. But I'm just saying, like, this is ridiculous. Now, it gets juicier. It gets more interesting. Because according to the reports, Manchester United will not stand in Bruno's way should he choose to move. In fact, They are leaving this decision entirely up to Bruno. Last week, the Al Hilal situation was like this. Al Hilal were interested. They came to United, said, look, we want Bruno Fernandes. Bruno spoke with the representatives. They told him everything. Bruno was like, look, I like thank you, but I want to be at Manchester United. You know, I have got a lot of things that I want to do here. He still had, and big ups to Bruno, because turning away life-changing money is just something that not a lot of people understand how deep. So to see Bruno stay for the love of the game was just something that was amazing to see. So they are leaving the decision to Bruno. The last time Bruno had to ask the gaffer said, no, Bruno, I don't want you to leave. He had to communicate and stuff to find out whether or not he should leave. And they told him that they didn't want him to leave. But I feel like the other people wanted him to leave because there was going to be a lot of money in that deal. So this time around, apparently they're leaving Bruno Fernandes. They're leaving this decision entirely up to Bruno. They're not going to interfere with Bruno. If Bruno chooses to leave, they are not going to be upset. In fact, they are going to be like, hey bro, thank you. Because I'm assuming the club needs money. And if we were to sell Bruno, I guarantee the Baliba story is back on. That Baliba, we're getting him. If we were to sell Bruno Fernandes. But is that what we want? Is this the disruption that we need moving into into this league? I don't think with the amount of work we've put in as a team, as a collective, you know, building the relationships that we've already built amongst the team. You know, if you listen to what the gaffer talks about the squad. It's like when I arrived here, there was no team. They were not friends. They were just people, colleagues that came to work every day and met at work and started training and went home. There was no togetherness. There was no camaraderie. That bond wasn't there. And we've finally got that. We've finally established that. We are building serious bonds. And then all of a sudden you want to take away Bruno. I can guarantee you one thing right now. If you sell Bruno, we will not be able to recover as a team, in the sense that it is going to feel like a loss, like a breakup. Psychologically, I don't think these guys are going to be able to, you know. Now, I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong. Maybe Bruno leaving could be the jump start that we needed. Maybe Bruno bouncing could be that thing where we're like, oh, now we can sort out this situation. Bruno was never an attacking midfielder. He was never a midfielder. He was an attacking midfielder. You know, this deal that has come before our eyes has really come with possibilities and all sorts of things. Because when you think about what's going on with the club, we're in this pickle with midfielders. Then all of a sudden there's this situation that's going on. Wow, it's crazy. Now, I need to say this before this. There was a conspiracy, or there was a story floating around. I'm not gonna take credit for it. I'm just gonna say that this is what I read. And this Bruno situation, I'm not surprised. What I'm surprised is that these guys were actually serious. You know what I'm saying? There is a conspiracy or a theory that now Bruno had that talk with the Saudi Arabians at the time and is told them like, look, let me just start the season, sign a new contract with the club, blah blah blah, sort them out, and then you guys can come and take me after, something like that. There's that. But then that was Al Hilal. The people that came in now are ittihad. So it's a little bit tricky. But Saudi Arabian football, I told you, their federation, the Saudi Arabian League Federation, the league itself, the club, Al Hilal, Al Ittihad, they are not the ones buying the player. This player is being bought by the Saudi Arabian Federation and then allocated to these players. They express interest, they're like, okay, we want this money. And these guys will be like, okay, you guys have the money. And then they do it. It's Saudi Arabia, it's how the Saudis do it. I'm not going to sit here and start comparing and what, but it works for them. So I don't want people to think that, no, if because it was at Al Hilal and now it's at Al Ittihad, it has changed. That conspiracy, no. These guys want to bring Bruno Fernandes to their league. Bruno Fernandes coming to the Saudi Arabian league, I don't know what that does for them, but I think they've seen a player in Bruno that they believe can be that guy that can, and if they can get Bruno to come and play in the, I think it will do a lot for them. So yeah, but yeah, Bruno Fernandes, the Saudi people are back. I don't know. Last but not least, Senne Lammens. Remember our goalkeeper, the 23-year-old from Royal Antwerp. We spoke about him a couple of weeks ago. That story, I thought it was going to die. We've spoken about goalkeepers. I'm sorry, we did. We've spoken about Donnarumma, who apparently has agreed personal terms with Manchester City. And I remember yesterday watching Man City and thinking to myself, if Man City lose this game, Monday, Donnarumma will be walking through the City doors. I can guarantee you that. And I wake up this morning, open, the first thing that I see is that Donnarumma personal terms agreed. So Donnarumma is gone. If you've ever had that fantasy of like, oh, maybe Donnarumma can come to Manchester United, it's gone. Unless, I don't know, last minute, you never know. But he's going to Man City. Then there was this 23-year-old goalkeeper from Royal Antwerp, who Manchester United had been scouting, been looking, keeping an eye out for him, and we were linked to him, but then it wasn't really concrete because Dibu, aka Emi Martinez, was also in the mix. A lot of goalkeepers. There was a story I also read about Suzuki. Remember Suzuki? I think he's playing for Parma now in Italy. Apparently he's not ready. It's too late. But yeah, so there's been a lot of goalkeeper talk, but it seems like Manchester United have locked in on Senne Lammens. Now, from what I've seen, this goalkeeper, look, if he comes back and chokes because of the pressure of Manchester United, then it means that I was scouting, then I was wrong. I could have been wrong. But then when I look at the player, the goalkeeper, his highlights, what he does, he seems to be this very big fella that doesn't make a lot of mistakes. And that gives me comfort. It does. It gives me comfort because I look at my goalkeeper, I look at Onana. Yes, Baindi made a mistake, but I don't see a lot of mistakes in Baindi in as much as I do with Onana. With Onana, you're just not sure. And that is not a safe feeling. That is not a good feeling to have. So this kid who's coming, Senne Lammens, I say kid, but he's 23 years old. He's also another giant, 6 foot, whatever. But yeah, he's coming in, big guy, safety. Personal terms have been agreed with the player, which means I think maybe tomorrow we should be getting a here we go, or today, I don't know, but within the next couple of days we are going to be getting a here we go with Senne Lammens. Apparently the discussions have been going. Royal Antwerp did, however, increase their price for the player, because apparently the player, from the beginning, when I read him that last time, he was 17 M's. Remember, 17 million finished. Now it has moved to 25, and I'm assuming it's 17 million plus add-ons, but these guys have increased his price. I don't think this should be a problem for United. It shouldn't be. I think this deal needs to be moved on quickly so that because we're left with 1 week. 1 fucking week is left. Transfer window is done. We can't make any more signings. And within this window, we need to sign a goalkeeper and a midfielder. We do. And we need to get rid of signing. Anthony needs to bounce. Garnacho needs to bounce. Sancho needs to bounce. We need to get rid. So there's a lot that needs to be done within this last period of whatever. But Lammens, I am excited. I am excited to bring in a new goalkeeper. The excitement that I have is equivalent to David De Gea. Now, David De Gea is a special case. I'm not saying it in that sense. I'm saying it in the sense that, remember when David De Gea, because remember when David De Gea came in, he had a very rough start. Things were not good. But remember when he got the hang of things? Do you remember? Do you remember how he just became a staple? That's what I am seeing with this Senne Lammens. That's what I'm feeling. I could be wrong, but I don't know. I just feel this. Yeah. Thank you everybody for listening to the Glory Reds podcast. It's your boy, Don Benito. Peace.